protecting your Wi-Fi access point against all other previous attacks. We saw in the previous videos how we can crack any Wi-Fi encryption, whether it's WEP, WPA, WPA2, and we saw more than method to do that. So the security measure that we are going to do is, if you are using a WEP encryption or your router only provides a WEP encryption, so it's from the necessary to buy a new router has WPA2 encryption, because we saw how easy to crack WEP. And the second thing is to disable the WPS feature from your router, because if the hacker or the attacker get the PIN number, so he can get the access point password even if your password was long or hard to guess, and this is by reverse engineering. And also we have changed the access point password to a complex one, because this will prevent you from brute force attack as we did in the previous videos. And change the default password of the router, so if the attacker get the key of your access point and your router using only the default and your router uses the default username and password, so he can log into your router and change a lot of settings. For example, he can deny you from your network, or he can allow as many devices to connect to your network, or even to change the password or shut down the router. We have an optional security measure is hide your access point. This is only an extra layer of protection. And also we have MAC address filtering feature in the router, and this is to specify your clients. This feature is to deny this feature is to deny this. And also we have MAC address filtering to specify your clients. This feature is to deny or allow any client from your network. And there is one thing is, if the attacker was trying to disconnect you from your access point, so the solution is to connect your computer with the router using Ethernet cable. So he will not be able to disconnect you from the network if you connect your router with your computer using Ethernet cable. Some routers have IP float features, which is allows you to protect your network against those attacks or the authentication attacks. So let's see how we can protect our router against all of these attacks. Okay, so first you need to get the IP address of your router. Open a new terminal and type route -n, and you will see 000, which is my interface, and 192.168.0.1 is my IP of the router, or the IP of my router. I'm gonna copy it, and you will paste it here into the browser. And I want to say one thing, that each router has a different interface than the other, so not all the routers has or have the same interface. So I'm gonna start with WEP. If your router is only provides WEP encryption, so it's from the necessary to upgrade your router and buy a new one in order to get WPA2 encryption. Because as I said, and as we saw in the previous videos, it was very easy to crack WEP encryptions. So and the second thing is WPS. You have to disable the WPS feature, because the attacker, if the attacker get the PIN number or the WPS PIN number, so he will be able to get the actual password. In my case, it's here from wireless WPS. We have the WPS push button. This is optional. You can disable it or you cannot, but this is not affect. And WPS PIN, you need to disable it, because the attacker will get if the attacker get the PIN, he will get the password and do a lot of stuff. Okay, and the third thing is change the router password, because if the attacker like hack your network and your router password was the default, so he will be able to log into your router and, for example, deny you from the network, or change the password, or shut down the router, and he can do a lot of stuff. In my case, I can change it from admin panel, then change password, then it's asking me to type current password and new password. And we have another thing is to change the access point password to a complex one. I'm going to my wireless security setting, and you will see here Wi-Fi network name is this iSecurity. If you want to hide your network by stopping the broadcasting, you can say yes or no. In my case, I said yes, it's no problem. But if you said no, this is gonna be like additional security layer to your Wi-Fi access point. For security, I'm using WPA2, and I have WPA2, but it's the same. And my router doesn't provide the WEP because it's very weak to crack. And for my password or Wi-Fi password, I'm using capital letters and small letters and numbers, and I think this is enough to protect myself against brute force attack. And the last thing I'm gonna talk about is MAC filtering or MAC address filtering feature. I have it in security, MAC filtering. In my case, I can choose any device from here, and the router will deny the device from connected to the access point. Or I can select the devices, and these devices will be able to connect to my Wi-Fi access point, and or any other device will not be able to connect to my Wi-Fi access point. And there is another thing is if the attacker was sending a deauthentication packet to your access point, and he is trying to disconnect you from your network, so you'll not be able to log into your router. As I said, just plug your laptop or your PC to the router, and you will be able to log into your router, and you can surf the internet. So this is way. And there is another thing is my router is actually provides a feature called ICMP flood and IP flood, and this is to protect me against DOS attack. I'm gonna show you this in security, firewall, and you will see IP flood detection and ICMP flood detection, and you have something called port scan detection, so no one will be able to scan your network. Okay, so this was the most important security measure that you have to do to your router, and this is to protect yourself against all of the previous attacks that we talked about.